Tell me I look slay. Tell me I look slay.
These are the easiest pickles you'll ever make. No canning, no stress, just major flavor. Let me show you how I make quick pickles that are perfect for everything from sandwiches to snack boards, and the only pickles you'll want to make this summer.
Welcome back to the table, everybody. This week, as I mentioned, we're going to be going over some of my pickle essentials. Now, I am a pickle girly, a pickle queen, if you will. And I think pickles are so easy and so customizable. And I think y'all are sleeping on making them because right now, in the summertime, it's such a great time to make pickles. All the produce is available. Pickling cucumbers are incredibly easy to grow if you have the space for a garden. I'm going to show you quick, easy refrigerator pickles that keep for a long time. And I'm going to show you three different pickle varieties, I guess you could say, different pickle styles that I think have really good use cases. Pickles are something that a lot of people don't want to put the time and effort into, so you can use these as hostess gifts. You can keep these on hand to really jazz up a dish, and each one we go over, I'm going to show you like the different use cases for them, what I like to use them for, and the recipes, of course, will be available on my Substack. You ready to get into some pickle party? Pickle party? All right, let's get into it. All right, let's get the goods out. I stocked up, okay? When I said pickling cucumbers are in season, I got the goods. The local delicious little pickling cucumbers. That's what you want. I also got a regular store cauliflower. Okay, fine balance, everyone. Jalapenos. Oh, so pretty. We have Clark's favorite dill. Now you may be thinking, that's a lot of stuff. Okay, you don't have to make all of these. Just, I'm showing you varieties. I love pickles. We need a lot. There's already pickles in this house. What inspired this video was the fact that I ran out of like classic slicer pickles, and those are like great for summer. And I was like, oh, I should like make a bunch because we're gonna go through a bunch. And then I was like, why don't I show you, the people, how to take all of this stuff and turn it into deliciousness, because that's what we're here to do. Here are the three kinds of pickles we're going to be doing. These cucumbers are for my classic dill and garlic pickles. I'm a dill pickle girly. I do sometimes make ones that lean slightly more bread and butter, but I am not a sweet pickle girly. I'm just not. I love to make my pickles with lots of dill and garlic, but I'm going to show you how you can tone it to what you think you're going to like best. The next thing that we're going to do is what these bad boys are for. Our cauliflower, our peppers, these are banana peppers, bell peppers. I'm also going to put some onions and carrots in here. This is what I'm calling mixed goods. There is like a name for it. I buy it sometimes from Whole Foods in the jar, but it's like snackin' pickles. And it has a lot of versatility, and I love that you get an interesting variety of the vegetables actually in the pickles. So I'm going to show you how to make my mixed goods, and then you probably cannot see her through this plastic bag, but we got a big old bag of jalapenos. Oh my God, I love these so much. Burgers, nachos, tacos, whatever the hell you want. Put them on things. They're so good. Those are the three things we're going to make today. Pickled jalapenos, mixed goods, dill pickles. Now the first thing we're going to do is make our pickle brine. So the pickle brine for everything is the same. I'm going to link that recipe on my Substack. And that is the thing that you're going to need to make all of these. So let's move over to the stove and get that heated up. Pot's on the stove, all right? She's looking empty. We're going to start equal parts water and vinegar. And because we're making 3 different kinds of pickles. I'm going to make a lot of extra brine, so this will make like a batch, big batch, because you'd rather have too much than not enough. It can feel kind of wasteful, but I'd rather just be safe because I have run into the problem where I don't make enough brine and then you got to fill it with water and you feel very disappointed in yourself that you didn't measure properly. We're going to start with a cup and a half of water and a cup and a half of white distilled vinegar. Also, the water, it doesn't need to be filtered water. I know some people have like beef with that. I have a Berkey. I'm putting sink water in, mama. All right. I have so much white vinegar. I buy it in bulk. Why? Don't ask. Maybe it's all for pickles and you just don't even know. Maybe I have a problem. No, it's fine. I use it to clean my sink. I have a garbage disposal and then it gets stinky. It gets stinky. So you put baking soda and vinegar down it and it helps. Pro tip, pro trad wife tip. Don't ever let me say anything like that ever again. Now, I'm going to put this on high heat just to get it up to temp while we add in everything else. Basically, we're only heating this up to the point that the sugar and salt we're going to put in it is going to dissolve. That's all we want, is like a homogenized mixture, and then we're going to cool it back down so that way it doesn't like cook our vegetables. Do I always let it cool to the point that it should be cooled off at? No, because I'm impatient, but we're going to show you the right way today. So we're going to be patient. We're going to be patient today. Salt and sugar. I use cane sugar and kosher salt. I know a lot of people swear by Diamond Crystal. I don't beef with Morton. I don't beef with the Umbrella Girlie. Me and her, we're chill. Am I the only one who thinks that she gives the vibes of the copper tone kid? That's just, I don't know, something to think about. Okay, we are going to do about 1 tablespoon of sugar, and then this salt comes out like a bat out of hell, so I know you can't see, but it just spilled everywhere. So the little dispenser thing fell off into the salt, so I'm not wasting this 3.5 pound box of salt though. I'm doing basically like 2 tablespoons of kosher salt. The vinegar is already going to be pretty, so we don't want to add too much. I'm going to quickly wipe this away so that way we don't make an even bigger mess, because I just love having an electric stove. It's heating up. We're giving her a good stir. Let's add in our other funsies. These are yellow mustard seeds. I really like these. If you don't have these and you have ground mustard, that will also work. Whoa, girl, calm down. What's that, like a half teaspoon? Yeah. Then we're doing some whole black peppercorns. Probably, let's see, that's like a teaspoon of those. And if I have the tri-colored peppercorns, white, red, and black, that's my favorite for everything. Like to put in my pepper grinder for here. We're rocking Kirkland's signature right now, y'all. These will work fine. This pretty much here is the pickle brine, but I almost always add garlic into everything. So I'm going to post the recipe without the garlic, but just letting you know, garlic pretty much goes in every single one of them that I do. And then since this is pretty much dissolved, I am just going to take it off the heat and let these just kind of add in some more flavor, because the less that I have to heat it up, the less time it has to take to cool down. So these are the garlic cloves. I just kind of smash them so they just kind of break open like that. Pop her in. Okay, I'm going to do way more than 2. I'm a garlic girl. There's going to be way more than 2. I just wanted to show you and then get this off the heat. So that way you know this is cooling down and we can start actually prepping our pickles. Don't forget to save all your scraps in your stock bag. I've been using a bunch of garlic recently. There's a Parmesan cheese rind in this bag, so whenever this bag gets to be cooked, she's gonna hit. I honestly already have a full stock bag, and I just have no need to make stock because I'm not a big soup girl in the summertime. That's fine though. All right, now that our brine is cooling, we're gonna chop the veggies for each of our pickles. Now, for the container for your pickles, you can kind of get free reign, you know? Because I know I want to make a lot. I'm gonna use deli containers for all of them because that's what I like to use in my house. I'm also a jar girly. There's plenty of jars. Everything's fine. I have ones like this with the non push down lid, and then I have ones like this with the separated lids. I do find that if you put the pickles in a little hot, they will kind of seal down and keep a little longer. If you want a little bit of like a faux canning moment, if you really want to can them, you need to go to someone else's page for how to do that because Mama, I'm not the one you want that advice from. So we're gonna do two big uns, and a normal one because you don't want to do anything too crazy if they're fridge pickles, because I would say you have to consume them. I don't want to say quickly. You don't really have to consume them quickly, but you have to consume them. I don't know. I'm not the USDA or the FDA or whoever regulates when expiration dates get put on. But I will say, don't leave them in there for 6 months and be eating them. A couple months, go for it. Always wash your produce, my friends. Now you can do this on your mandolin if you want, but for me, my mandolin doesn't really go this thick, so I just like to do it by hand just to make sure that they're the right thickness that I like them to be. Always test your produce. These are delicious. Yeah, one fell on the floor. What about it? And because I'm doing a dill pickle, this is fresh dill. I personally believe that the best way to store herbs is with a basically a dry paper towel. This dill's like 3 weeks old. She looks gorge. I don't believe in the cup, like stored in the cup method. This is what works for me, and it's always fresh and fabulous and gorgeous. I'm losing a lot to the floor. Don't talk about it. But once I get a pretty solid layer in here, I am going to put some dill in. And then if you just made the classic pickle brine, I would also layer in your garlic cloves depending on how much you want. If you're not going, remove any excess stems. We don't need that, but I'm just like that, layering her in there so she's nice and intermingled. I love dill. Dill and me, we're in it for life. If you don't like so much, just put it on top, scale it back to whatever works for you and your people's palates. You can just see that that's gonna hit, right? I can. And for each container, I'm gonna leave like a 1/2 inch from the top. Not a ton of space, just enough that once our liquid gets in there, we have enough space to kind of still squish things down, move things around, keep the vibes. Because I only have these 4 cucumbers left, I'm just gonna make another small one because these are pickled cucumbers. That's their purpose. Can I have too many pickles? Not on my watch. Our classics are good. Next, let's do our mixies. This one, I definitely got too many ingredients for it, but c'est la vie. Look how giant these banana peppers are. Okay, Girth. So for this one, I want a good kind of mixed bag of things, right? I want nothing to feel like there's too little or too much. You don't want this to feel like it's all cauliflower. And honestly, this is something I like to do because it is inspired by this sandwich shop that I think it's a chain in Pennsylvania, but it's called Isaac's. And when I was growing up, my family used to go there. Well, my family used to go out to dinner every Thursday night, but my dad has the patience of a 4-year-old child. So we could only go to places where the wait time is like less than never. So it usually consisted of like Mexican restaurants because the speed there is unmatched. Panera, Isaac's, Cracker Barrel. What else would be included? And they, when you sat down, would always give you pickles. And it was kind of like a mixed pickle, sort of like this. It was sweet and spicy, but not too spicy, but acidic, delicious. When I was a kid, I didn't like it. As an adult, adore. We're gonna do cauliflower, banana pepper. That's what's gonna add just the tiniest bit of heat for us. I'm also gonna do a little regular bell pepper just to add a little sweetness to it, and then some carrot. And everything I'm going to chop pretty small because you don't want anything like I would never want. Maybe you do. Maybe you want something like this size, but I don't. So I'm going to make sure things are manageable for what I like, which is about half of that. You know that song is like a little bit of this, a little bit of that. That song, that's what this is. That's why it's called the mixed goods. Because we got the goods. We got the gabagoods. The goods. You could put this part in if you wanted to. I don't want it. So I'm not going to. Like with everything on this channel, choose your own adventure. I'd like to put more cauliflower in this, but we're getting pretty close to the top here, so I think I'm just gonna add a little more bell pepper and she will have to do for the day. Perfect. All right, 2 out of 3. Done and dusted, girly. So for the pickled jalapenos, I really wanted to show y'all these because I think a lot of people assume that they're just going to be incredibly too spicy for them. And I think you are underestimating how much you control the heat level. If you get really green jalapenos, they are not going to be that spicy. The more wrinkly and the more red a jalapeno is, the more spicy it's going to be, okay? And then the big thing is just take the seeds out. If you're really worried about the spice, just make sure you really get all of those seeds out of the pepper. When I first started eating spicy food, I really was afraid because of that, and it starts with you just like trying a little bit of something with no seeds in it. If you're not so pressed about keeping them whole like I am, you can just cut down one of the sides and get the seeds out. That's another really easy way. I like when they're in the circle form. I think one more fat one should be good. We're not adding anything else. Same thing with this, like how we added the dill in. You could always add more garlic, like I said, if you really want that garlic forward flavor. But these, we're not so worried about her. I split this one. Tragic. We also did the jalapenos last, because if you're making multiple pickles, you don't want to get the seeds or any of that into other ones and possibly accidentally make spicy pickles. So if you're doing a bulk thing like this, do the jalapenos last. And then make sure you give everything a good rinse. Do I have a Halloween town out right now? A Halloween town. A Halloween towel out right now. I do. It's always Halloween in this house, Mama. Look how gorgeous. This is it. This is the last part. We're just going to put this in here. And that's all. That's how you make pickles. Now, honestly, the most difficult part is me getting that into here. I think I'm going to attempt this. We shall see. Honestly, not a bad ratio. Did we make a mess? Of course we did. Come on now. This also helps me because the garlic cloves, I don't want such a strong garlicky flavor in the mixed goods or the jalapenos. So for these, I'm going to set those aside. I'm going to try to get the garlic cloves into here because I want those in those pickles. Wow, we are so low on pickle brine. We'll make more. Don't worry, everyone. I really grossly underestimated this. So what we're going to do, okay? Sometimes this be happening. What did I tell you? We'd rather have too much than not enough, but normally I pack these so dang tight, there's no room. So what we're going to do, get our goods, our little mustard seeds, split up. I'm going to make some more, and then we shall circle back. I ended up about doubling the amount of brine to make sure it was all to get to this point. At this point, this is all brine. Now, I didn't want to put it to the tippy top because, one, we're going to test out our lids to see, press it down, make sure we have enough space. If we need a little bit more, a little water ain't going to kill us, okay? And then anytime you make a pickle, you want to make sure everything is nice and submerged. So this one, even though it's not too to the brim, I'm going to leave it like that. That's good to me. This one we can definitely do some water. And there you have it, the squad. One thing I want to remind you with pickles is just don't overthink it, right? We hit some hiccups. That's fine. We learn, we grow, we adjust. Have I ever made this many pickles in one go before? Not to my knowledge. So we quickly adjust, and look at all these gorgeous, gorgeous pickles we have because of it. Now, to store these, right now, they are not hot. They are like room temp, so they can automatically go into the fridge. If you put your brine in a little warm, wait to top it until it's room temp, until it's not warm to the touch anymore. Cap it in the fridge. I would let them sit in the fridge for at least 3 days. That way you give these a lot of time to marinate, to really absorb that flavor. But crack into them whenever you'd like. Or if you just want to give them a taste, it's not going to kill you just to try them on the first day, second day, whatever you want. I would recommend on those days, just give the containers a good shake. If you can, invert them to really make sure things are intermixing, doing all the good things. And then you have yourself some delicious fridge pickles. These can really be used for anything. You want to use them as a hostess gift Taking these to a party can really be a sweet, kind gift. Just putting them in a pretty jar and gifting someone something that you made. This I just would use on a charcuterie board, chop it up even further, make a little slaw. Like I said, I put this in pasta salad. So good. Classic pickles, you know these are going on burgers. They're snacking. They're my favorite. Salads, these are just our classic go-tos. And these, you're busting these out on white people taco night, okay? These would have been so good on those steak tacos that we made last week. And now they'll just be sitting in your fridge, ready for you to snack on whenever you're ready. Let me know in the comments which ones you're going to try first, or how you make your pickles at home, or if you're finally actually going to give pickles a try. I really hope you have opened your pickle horizons and give this a go. So thank y'all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you at the table next time. Bye!